Hello, how's it going, everybody? How are y'all doing on this Friday night, sort of? Yeah, how are you guys doing on this Friday? Hopefully everybody's had a good Friday, did their things, you know? Some stuff's been happening in the space. Some exciting stuff. Uh, what about you guys? Hopefully y'all have been had an exciting week as well. I discovered what do you call it? Magic of Voxel today, and it is insane. It's actually free. It's also it's free. So for those who are curious about Voxelworks, I think this is one of the programs that gets used for Voxelworks. Now you can see all my files. Oh jeez. Magic of Voxel. It's actually, I was surprised by how powerful it is. If here, I'll show you guys while I do my little shameless plug for the stream. If you ever want to get in contact with me, just tag me in the Metakey Discord, Duat Art Residency channel, or tweet me at Anubis_3100. I am very active on Twitter. As you can see, before I show you what Gigavoxel does, look at this fucking tweet. 2008 $2,000 JPEGs. There we go. That's what's up. But this is all done in why am I blanking out on the name so much? Magic of Voxel, not Gigavoxel. Magic of Voxel right here. And actually, I think it does glass far better than fucking Blender, which is hilarious. Because if you use Blender, caustics are the fucking bane, and glass is the bane of your fucking existence. But look how sharp that shit is. You could zoom in a little bit more, but it's the Twitter compression. But so this is just me literally discovering what it is and quickly fucking around with it. Very nice. That's Magic of Voxel. And if you ever want to get in contact with me, like I said, at Anubis_3100, and I'll respond to you there. But now we will be looking at this artist right here. So I'm gonna go find their Twitter real quick before we do anything. Right here. And so for today's little breakdown, I gotta take off the starting soon. I remembered, gotta take that off. For today's breakdown, I'm gonna be looking at the art of Popil, which I think is a very exciting artist in the space. I discovered them. I had bought a work of theirs not fairly early. I think no, I had bought this work, so I do own this work. I own one of them. You can see right here. Yeah, boy, that's me right there. I think it's actually one of the nicest fucking things. And so we're gonna be looking at the art of Popil today. It's a very exciting artist. As you can just see by, and here they have their Instagram too. But as you can see just by the Hiketnank description, they are interested in AR and 3D, but they also do drawing, traditional media, and maybe not traditional media because some of the stuff is digital, but 2D drawings. So to me, that's very exciting. What the hell is this? I haven't seen these. That's one bane of being on multiple platforms like I am. You don't keep up with a lot of the people you buy from. Well, that's also because I just haven't had the time to go buy some more Tez. Fucking need to do that. But hey, thanks, cat. He just jumped on my lap. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's my cat right here. Look at that's my boy, little pixelated boy. That's my cat. Say hi to the stream. Say hi to the meta crew. Don't sniff the fucking. He's sniffing the mic right now. He looks like a weird blob right now, but that's because of all the pixelation. He is a black cat. He is the most beautiful cat of all time. My girlfriend was the one that got him on a whim too. It was fucking wild. She came back home one day and she was like, "Yo, I got a fucking cat. We're gonna go pick it up someday." And I was like, "Okay, that's my boy." No, sir, I am doing art-focused streams. I'm gonna lower the music a little bit too, because I realize, damn, that beat is gonna get fucking annoying. But they are interested in AR and 3D, and they do 2D drawings. This is their Instagram. This is not my Instagram, but it's the one that's logged in on at the moment. But as you can see, they. So this is the AR stuff. So this is their Instagram, and this is their Twitter right here at Popil Art. I'm just oh, okay, good. They have a OpenSea, so we can look at that. Now, my personal interest in Popil's art lies in a very specific style. Well, actually, this style sort of utilizes it too, and some of the depictions. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm just quickly scrolling through these because I haven't seen any of these. Actually, to know they're on OpenSea, but my cat's probably running. But my main interest fell in these style works, right? That I get, as I said before, I own one of them, right? This is the one I own, and so I'll open them first. Oh, it's my cat doing his fucking thing. What are you doing, cat? Alright. Yeah, if you hear him running, that's just him. He's got the night witches or whatever the fuck you call them. But anyways, I've opened up a few things here, and we're gonna take a quick look while they load. While all of them load here, I'm gonna take a bite out of my my little Kinder Bueno. Yeah, we out here ballin' in Kinders, boys. Ballin'. Alright. So I think I opened two Big Brother or different. Okay, good. So this was the first thing that caught my interest out of all things. I was scrolling through Hicketnock and I was just like, what the hell is this? Right? And why is it so good? And so we're gonna open up the IFPS file, right? For those who do not know, I'm pretty sure that's a CGI rendering of them, so they are Asian, right? Maybe I'm not sure. No, never mind, that's not her. I always saw this and I assumed it was a photo scanned self-portrait of her. Never mind. Anyways, oh, okay, there is this picture right here. I'm trying to find. Oh well, is it here? It don't matter. But anyways, I just threw some photos that I think I also saw them on Twitter when I first followed them. I understood that they're sort of playing on some sort of cultural inspiration, right, from one's culture, and it drew my interest just simply because of not only the vintage poster style, but just the quality and love that's put into there, right? And so if for those who do not know, what is it, Chinese, there is a style, right? Chinese, old Chinese posters. So if you go on these, this is the style that you get immediately. It's a very beautiful style, actually. It's quite sad that you don't see art like this anymore. You know, that's Mao right there. It has its political implications, but artistic, right? Like just looking at it from an artistic sense, it's a very nice. I mean, some of their Pinterest has better examples, honestly, here, right? But this style of illustration, right? This right here. Here, I'll take you. We'll go to Pinterest actually, because Pinterest is far better at these. It's got a little bit more curation. Chinese posters, right? And so you get that sort of design and and drawing quality and color quality, right? And so immediately I my brain was like, oh wow, this is a nice take and then a nice evolution on this sort of cultural style, right? I for one, like personally as an artist, I'm fucking jealous, and I have tried to do some studies of these, right? Because they are so fucking good, right? That they need to be evolved, right? Now you won't find me doing paintings in this style, right? You'll find me doing drawings and studies, and I might sell some studies, but you'll never find me produce works in this style, right? Because it's sort of not fully my culture, right? And so in turn, right, as a person like some can say, oh, you're Muslim, but not even then. Like there is it's a fine line, right? And so I personally, right, if I want to enjoy the style being upkept, I have to go and find artists from the culture that expand on it, right? And so that's exactly what I think of this sort of work, right? It's so great, legitimately. It's to those listening, if you can fucking zoom in on a work like this, it is immediately 10 times better, because they care about export quality, and they have to fucking sit there while that shit's saved, yo, and that shit takes a while, right? So again, my friends, and like, look, when you can zoom in, you can tell how some of the work is done, right? So here, it's funny enough, actually, well, right here, like, okay, right, collage sort of usage, right? You have cutout images, right? This I thought was some sort of cutout from a newspaper. Turns out no, they actually painted this and just drew it, right? But the texture, the unified texture, is what tricks your eye, you know, it gets you. But you know, right? So you have that. You look down here. Sorry, the Brave's zoom in is fucking weird. You have all this texture, right? You have the black sort of pencil, crayon, marker, brushstroke, right? Very, very black, like opaque as hell, right? And then right here you have a tiny brush stroke, right? Like a mixer brush or like a smudge brush, you know? And so you're seeing variation in brushes used, right? I mean, if we scroll to the left a little bit, just the background, that's like a speckle, fucking, what you call it? Particles, sparticle? No, sparticle, Jesus Christ. But no, like a particle brush, right? Splatter, sorry, there we go, splatter brush, that's the word, right? And then this sort of feels like as if it's a cutout, right? It actually is, because right here, the picture, right, you see some reflection, and then I just noticed this, but this looks like they're erasing, actually. Yeah. Wow. Alright, more cutouts. Get ready, taskbar. And then they even went as far to include a border, right? And I really say, like, look how varied the color texture is, right? You have blue splatter. Sorry, that's green. I'm fucking blind. Green splatter, blue splatter, orange splatter, red splatter, blue splatter, some white splatter, some reddish, right? Some greenish, sorry, reddish splatter, blue splatter again, right? White splatter. It's actually very detailed. I mean, this is literally Right here, this is a cutout of, this is an immediate collage cut of one of these posters. Probably not this one that's fully rendered, but one of them older buttons, you know, right? Something like that. So it's quite nice. You got, I think they're sort of depicting war because the fucking parachutes. Why am I blanking out on the most basic names today? I was like, yeah, what the hell is that, balloon? No, it's a fucking parachute. Right, there's a diamond in there. I didn't even notice this. Diamond, a frame within a frame that sort of disappears. Oh, it never comes up again, right? Here you can see it's, again, when you zoom in, you can sort of understand how the work works, right? And how it's been made, right? You can see the slide right here. So, right, you scroll down a little bit. So it looks like they erased. That's an eraser right there, right? Straight. Like you can do this with a pencil, get fairly straight, and then just some eraser marks. It's actually great. And from far back, it doesn't even, you don't even notice it. It just looks like a very nice gradient. Very well executed. What I think is happening is actually this sort of thing is all from this image right here, right? And they just erased it. And they also took out the white background so that it's transparent, but that's actually nice. Wow. Wow. Alright, we have a date as well that sends you towards a little history search. So now I'm curious, what happened in 1959 China? Nope, 1959 China. Let's see. In this continuing giant leap forward started in 1958. Okay, so it's a year after the creation of the Great Leap Forward, right? So the Great Leap Forward of the People's Republic of China was an economic and social campaign led by the Communist Party, CCP, from 1959 to 1962. Chairman Mao. I won't get into that. And then the continuing of the Great Chinese Famine. So it's a little bit sort of the Tibetan uprising. Oh wow. So it's a somewhat a big year for China. Again, I don't know full on Chinese history though, so. Oh, Chinese famine as well, right? Chinese famine appeared between 1959, that's the date right there, right? I mean, you're seeing cans of food, and this also feels like as if it's food. I mean, I do not read Chinese, right? So, wow. Well, this might actually be talking about food. Like full on. Wow. It's really interesting. Here, I'll zoom in on this little thing right here. Yeah, see, that's another illustration right here. You can tell it's not as technical as the most recent ones. It's got some little weird proportional mistakes, right? Some's off, some tiny off about the face or something, right? Or the figure. That's how you know they're old. But damn. Is that clouds in the background? Wow. Oh, I bought it, and when I bought this, I didn't fully zoom in, and I didn't do the breakdown that I just did with you guys. But damn, I am fucking. That is insane. Right, look at that. Look at the black changes, so it blends with that. Goddamn. Goddamn. Hold on. They may have actually painted this full figure with an actual mixer brush, right? Look at that right here. It's a mixer. That's like a Photoshop it's like Photoshop's opacity or brush, right? So like this figure had an outline that's not black, that's painted. Wow. Aye. We're learning new things today. That a boss. Sorry about the loud thing. I'm just moving in my chair. Art's getting serious, yo. Right? Even here, like it's not a straight. It's like a tear. Oh wow. Very nice. Very nice works. So that's vintage poster agent style. I still don't. I'm a little bit confused about why they specifically chose that name. Maybe it's to avoid some political questions or something. I'm not full. I don't know, but it just seems like a little bit of a generic name to give a work that has some pretty heavy, or some pretty researchable imagery, if you will. Sort of. Man, we'll move on to. I will show this last because I think it's one of the coolest. But I will move on to. I'm trying to see if I can show you guys a Big Brother No Phone or my Tin Boys first. Well, here, let's go look at my Tin Toys time. That's because I haven't seen it, and Big Brother will allow us to talk about. Will give us some to talk about for a while. But for this one, I haven't fully seen this one. So this is my Tiny Toys Tim. Cyber vintage poster, Asian style poster exhibition, once exhibition in Poland. So this was I imagine was shown in the same exhibition as this. It's quite nice actually. I wish I had the 3 tests to buy this shit, but I do not. God damn! Oh, Tiny Toys, my Tiny Toys Tim. This is a part of me where was like, ah man, if I only spoke Chinese. Let me go open Duolingo real quick. I'll be right back. Alright. So what do we do when something like this happens? We zoom in. Oh wow. Look at that. There's some nice gradient shit happening in this. Like gradient map colors. Right? The thing that clues me on this right here is these little things. Because that's very gradient mappy, and there's nothing wrong with gradient map. Actually, it's one of the nicest things that you can sort of use in Photoshop to get nice quality images, like some cool effects. Like they're very easy to use and they're super nice. But okay, brave. But yeah, the thing that makes me think of like gradient maps is this sort of color right here, because that is very gradient map like. Which again, it's not bad at all. It's quite good. Oh, thank fuck that song changed. I was gonna be like, oh, I feel like I'm going to war with this Tin Man. Dun-dun-dun. It's actually quite a colorful work. It's got some nice. Wow. Chinese dragon, the earth. Some nice stuff that makes you think of Chinese, traditional Chinese art, right? Like these figures right here, their clothes. These figures right here. I was gonna say Mulan a little bit, but that's just because that's one of my very early introductions as a child to what Chinese culture is sort of supposed to look like, right? And I say it's supposed to look like because whether we like technology or not, Mulan and all Disney movies fucking take mad fucking leaps of fucking liberty of imagination and fiction, right? And so you gotta understand that some of the shit you're watching is not valid and it's pretty fucking weird. Not valid in the sense that it's like don't watch it, but it's just like it's not valid in the sense that it's not like it's not the correct depiction, right? It's like a weird glorified or a weird exaggerated depiction, you know. That's pretty much it. But it's like, so it's like, and again, that's just not bad. That's just the history of Disney, right? It's comics, it's cartoons. You have to have that exaggerated factor, anyways. But this sort of, if you go look at some of like earlier Asian drawings and specifically Chinese art, you get this sort of. I reached my hand as if you guys could see my fucking hand, but you get this sort of, imagery and figures, which is nice also. Man, these colors are fucking nice actually. Where are you, Rex? And why are you here? Right, you get the Great Wall of China in the background. You have why am I blanking out on, I guess, Statue of Freedom? Yeah, I think that's the Statue of Freedom. I think that's France, something in France, the gate in France. I'm not too sure, but it looks like it. Big ass French gate in the middle of downtown, I think Paris, France. Some, yeah. You got Big Ben. This could be, yeah, we got an airplane, so this could be also like this could, oh, I just hit the mic, I apologize. This could be an exploration or like a sort of a piece talking about the places, right? It informs you, you know, this is a Chinese artist that has now, and these are the places they have traveled, right? Which is quite nice. And then tin toys, it makes me think, like, again, this is a poster design, right? Like, keep in mind that I'm drawing in, like, maybe the artist has some personal inspiration in this, right? But keep in mind, again, tin toys, right? There's a thing that if we take the artist inspiration, like the artist, like, say we take the artist out of this, right? This just could be like a little picture ad for a universal toy, right? But again, I'm reading a little bit into it, and I force myself to read a little bit into it just because that's what I like to do with artworks, right? So that is just me. That's what I recommend everybody does. And so, because it makes work so much cooler, you know, because in my head I'm like, yeah, but also it could speak to the nature of, like, you know, just immigrants in general, those who travel, coming back with gifts to family members, right? Like, how many times have you come back and then you found, like, your little cousin or your little brother be like, hey, you get me something cool from France, bro? You get something cool from Mexico, bro? Right? Everybody looks for little knickknacks, little toys, right? Little jackets. So it could be one of those. And the thing that makes me think of it is just, like, you know, it's like a fatherly figure also in the middle, and you got kids, right? And usually who asks for shit back, like, usually just super excited? Kids, you know, I want candy, I want toys, I want this, right? That's quite nice, actually. Again, you got some nice gradients going. The line work is super nice. And you got some little splatter texture. Wow. Oh, I gotta pour myself a little bit more soda. It's actually quite a nice, again, it's a very aesthetically pleasing poster, and a very sort of detailed poster, right? That can allow you to think and sit and sort of explore the work with your eyes, you know, with your soul. No, I'm just kidding. You can explore works with your soul, you just have to be on drugs while looking at them sometimes. Just kidding, that was a joke. Don't do drugs. Drugs bad for you. But yeah, it's actually, again, I keep zooming in, and just I keep noticing different variations of color, right? You got pink, you got green, you got blue, you got yellow, you got dark blue, you got the red, you got the orange, you got the yellow, right? Turquoise, different shades of fucking yellow and orange, right? Red. Man, what a blast of a work. Shit. Right, different corners, like the corner changes, like a little corner tear, but it's sort of aesthetic and nice still. Right, you get the clouds, right? The clouds sort of mix in with the name, right? Wow, god damn, Popil, I don't know how to pronounce their name, but it's fucking insane. All right, we will again. I'll close it here. We'll go back to, and so again, this is my Tiny Toys Time, not Tim, Time. Oh my god. Yes, hello, my name is Tiny Toys Tim. I'm here. But yeah, we will move on to, so they've had, I had wanted to buy one of these, but I couldn't afford it. But so they have two versions of this poster, right? I believe, hello, this is the first one. So it says, Big Brother, no smartphone. It says, in a modern era, Big Brother doesn't have a smartphone. Chinese vintage style poster painting. And so it says the same thing. Right? It's showing a really old style phone. Oh wow. Well, I'm gonna zoom in here because the difference between these two posters is you actually some of the painting actually pops here. It pops a lot compared to the other one. And so obviously there's a joke in this work, right? Big Brother, right? If for those who do not know, Big Brother is the name for, I think, sort of like the government, right? In 1984, right? Big Brother is watching you, right? It's always the poster of the man with the mustache or like the face. It's supposed to essentially be a mixture of both Nazi Germany and communist Russia amalgamated together into one, right? And you have like in the world of 1984, right? Big Brother's always listening in on you, right? They have devices that listen to what you say and stuff, right? And so there's a little joke on there which is like, Big Brother don't use smartphones. Part of me is like sort of I wish I could read the Chinese so I could understand, but from my guess this is an old phone, right? Not a smartphone, but a really old phone. We've seen these are like fucking 80s or 90s phones, right? Not even, but pre-Nokia fucking bricks, right? And so like I saw part of me like, and maybe that's just because I haven't been to China or anything. I don't fully understand if a lot of people in China don't use smartphones. Maybe that could be the case, actually, that people don't use smartphones in China, or if anybody that has an old phone, they use that because just the government can't listen to you on there. That could be one way. That's sort of how it looks now as I look at this work, just because, right, figures seem as if they're hidden. But also, it's I'm this is not a failure of the work, right? This is just my lack of understanding, right? That this is the sort of thing where, like, this is where I would typically ask the artist, right? What does this fully work represent, right? Because it's as if, is Big Brother listening onto these two figures here, right? Is the whole point of this is just to still make you aware of like the presence of Big Brother? I'm not too sure, but it's still quite a nice work. I mean, oh my god, that looks so much nicer actually. Right, this sort of looks like an army person compared to here. Again, part of me wishes I could read Chinese, because then I would be able to fully understand what this poster is saying. Because then, I mean, it literally could be a propaganda poster by Big Brother telling people to stay on their old phones because, for example, newer phones offer you VPNs and stuff, right? I don't fully know, but it is interesting. And ooh, nice. Look at that. That's like the opacity brush. Is this like a scanned marker first? This sort of looks like it's as if it's a scanned marker, like a scanned drawing and then put in, right? And then that's wow, that's very nice. That's pattern. That's Photoshop's pattern brush or pattern maker. Opacity brush. Wow. Right, like look at that. They went as far as to put in details in the back behind the line work, right? The colors to add the shading. That's actually really nice. Let's zoom in a little bit. Well, let's scroll down here. Right, wow. This legitimately feels as if it's been hand drawn first. Like some of this, right? And some of the changes in the marker make it seem like as if it's been hand drawn. maybe it hasn't been fully hand drawn, right? Because like the background here, that's very digital. That's fully digital. Then maybe, I don't know. Maybe just I'm not that good at Photoshop, so I don't know how to use my marker brushes correctly. I just learned how to use the basic opacity brush correctly because I don't do digital painting that much, man. But this is actually really nice. Look at the quality of line work. If you can zoom in this good, right? Like there is a little bit of pixelation. It's not that bad. I notice it a little bit more because I'm on a big fucking TV screen, but yeah, it's like they literally had to go in detail and cut these out, and that's annoying, right? You could use the magic tool and stuff, but you know, it can get annoying, right? And yeah, no, I'm gonna stick to my word and say this is drawn on a marker. This, yeah, and then scanned. Maybe let's zoom in. Wow. Okay, this is a little bit lower quality than maybe because they were minted at 2 different times, so the upload size changed. I've had that problem before where you upload something and then all of your future works are a little bit higher quality because the website upped its size limit. But damn, wow, looks quite nice actually. I actually barely noticed the texture in this one too, like the full pattern here. Like it's up to like this, for example. It's barely there that my eye just glossed over it. And like both posters, like here in this one, his shirt is blue, but here, well, it's still blue, but it sort of mixes with the background, right? So 2 different versions make you pay attention to 2 different things, which is quite nice. Because I legit didn't notice this at all, and I sure as hell didn't notice it here at all. Even I was like, what? To me, that I just saw that as a purple dress completely. So yeah, again, like this whole part right here is actually wild. Yeah, here we will move on to freak show spiders. So these sort of aren't fully too cultural based works, right, or anything, but they showcase what I think is also like Popil's creativity, as well as just like their them like developing and trying out new things, right? This is an animation. I like it a lot actually. I'm gonna pause this and see if there's any audio. Wow. Wow, that's very nice. So it's a little, I treat this as more of an aesthetic piece, right? It is done for fun, right? Freak spider show lady, and it's showing a little bit of exploration, right? Not a lot of strong line works, a lot more emphasis on painting, right? And also exploration of animation, right? And it's not like the weird animation where you can tell they just like put it through, like they added like a fucking ocean or like a fucking bubble animation. No, like they actually went in and cut all the different parts out and animated them single-handedly, right? Right, this animation is different from the particle effects here, which is quite nice. Oh, actually, oh, they're dependent. Wow. Look at that, it's actually wild. And the change of color, right, from green to like sort of fluorescent. And the flower. I look forward to more animation. And like, oh, I just noticed the eyes blinking too. They blink towards the end. Oh, all 3 blink. Alright, sideshow spider lady here, right? So it's just a take on like those creep shows that we saw, you know, like Darren Shan books, right? Like the what is it, the vampire assistant or whatever the fuck, those like teenage vampire horror books, right? They're actually quite fun. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Oh, I can't believe I'm googling this. Holy shit, I haven't googled this in a while, right? Like this sort of Cirque de Freak, right? Um, I personally read these because I liked them a lot more than Cirque de Freak, but it got made into a movie and everything, right? For those who, if you here, I'll Cirque de Freak. Right, this is the movie that got made. It's yeah, but so it's like a teenage horror genre thing, and so this is the sort of look that they always take, and it's the sort of look that's been popularized in popular culture, and so it's quite nice to see a variation on that. All right. Let us move on to earth signs. So this one to me showcases a little bit the skill here. I'm gonna open a new tab so we can read the description of Popil, right? Because like these are quite good, and like this actually showcases a skill quite a lot because it's painted. But some of them are like, you know, like these, right? Like this, it's quite cartoonish, right? Compared to stuff like this, right? And so this is actually a good showcase, I think, of their skill. And so it says Earth Signs, Tetris, Virgo, and Capricorn watercolor special collection of astrology, right? So this is done completely watercolor. Part of me thinks it's watercolor markers also. It could be, or some markers included. Actually, no. Well, maybe like equal. There are some watercolor markers, right? You can buy those. Literally markers that are just filled with watercolor pigment, nothing else. They're not like those shitty dollar store markers that you get for kids. No, they're actual blendable, good watercolor materials, and so they allow you to get some pretty nice detail, like as if you're using a Copic marker, you know, but not. They blend differently, sort of. Right? And so this is heavy on the patterns, right? Very Art Nouveau. Look at that. For those who don't know, Art Nouveau, it is one of my favorite art movements of all time, because it resulted in this sort of fucking like gnarly aesthetic ethereal shit, you know, like it's actually it's nice. It's actually like Alphonse Macha's that's a name you should Google if you're curious about Art Nouveau, right? So this sort of feels Art Nouveau-ish, right, with the pattern and stuff. Art Nouveau sometimes utilizes floral pattern, but also you have this sort of stuff, right? And so this is utilized here, but it's also like, I understand this is supposed to resemble the earth signs, right? And you see that in the Taurus and all that, but it also feels as if the person is dreaming, conjuring, like as if we're witnessing somebody's dream, right? The figure is lying down, right? Their hair is transforming into patterns and flowers and birds, and then you have an animal like a deer. I think that's a deer eating on the hair, right? Like you have flowers, you have birds going into and are part of like the fabric that's being covered, right? Like what sort of feels as if it's a wing, but not really, right? It's quite nice. Wow. Goddamn. Right, little dots. Like even here, look at how many colors are here. Wow. Right, orange, little hints of pink, right, green, darker green, even darker green, right, some blending, brown turns into orange, right, like gold or sand, sort of yellowish, like beige yellow, right? And here, you know, you get to see some, it's quite Nice details, right? Nice shading, right? It even tells you the figure is nude because you see a nipple right here, but right here, even the excuse me, Brave. Hello, thank you. All right, look at the shading here. It's actually quite nice, and I'm a big fan of these traditional works. Like I said earlier in the stream, I'm a painter, right? I learned how to digitally paint and how to use the brush correctly, but it doesn't change the fact that this shit, you know, like I still live and I still fucking love drawing, right? And so this is a sort of art that fucking gets me, right? And you can tell they actually cared about this piece, right? It's got a white border, right? It's quite nice. Everything is like sort of, I guess, homogeneous is the word, right? Even got little flower outlines, like playing with negative space and positive space. It's actually, there's a lot happening here. There's a lot happening here. Like even here, right? It turns into space. Like actually, I just noticed this. Sort of feels like as if it's turning into space, right? As if you're going into a nebula. Wow, it's actually. And then, Jesus, Brave really needs to work on their fucking zooming in shit, because the zooming in thing is horrible. Like, look at the colors here. Wow, the little flower patterns. The bird, I think it has a top hat or something. Just kidding. I thought this was a bird as well, but now looking at it in depth, it's a flower. Okay, the fur. They went as far as to put even like, you know, the difference to show you that that's a foot. Wow. So as you can see, Popil don't fuck around, yo. As an artist, their art is fucking insane. Now, you may have noticed, right? I'm not focusing too much on these sort of figures, right? This sort of looks cool. But my personal interest, right? I'm far more drawn to these sort of works, and actually even these sort of works, right? And so you put this compared to this, and I always go for something like this, right? And so I recommend you personally go and check out her profile, because you might like something differently than I like, right? You might focus on what you call it, your like aesthetic interests lie in something completely different than mine. So you know, now this says AR, but it's not loading, right? I was quickly trying to check it out, but I think it's one of those like pins, which is cool, right? But they have, again, like I recommend you go check out these, right? Because if this sort of work catches your eye, go in and zoom in, because I guarantee you won't be disappointed. It's actually, I mean, look at the colors, man. Look at the colors, crew. I think this is obviously full digital work, but like, wow. Oh damn, like look at this. Hey, is this generative art right here, huh? Is this generative art? Oh. I'm just kidding. It's not generative art. I was just making a joke. Generative art is a valid art form. Do not worry. But damn, it's got some like, yo, this is actually wild. Wow. Like just aesthetics wise, goddamn. Holy shit, Popil ain't fucking around, yo. But yeah, that's the work of Popil. Go follow their Twitter right here at Popil Art, POPILART on Twitter, and go follow them on Heketnunk. Popil, their work is fucking amazing. Legitimately, I look forward to the future of this artist and how they use the space, because I sort of look forward to see like how they're gonna evolve this with this sort of work, you know. And yeah, And if you enjoyed, again, right, go tell them you enjoyed looking at their fucking work. Just go follow them. But if you enjoyed this little stream and would like to get in contact with me, again, you can hit me up at Anubis_3100 on Twitter, or tag me in the Metakey Discord, in the Duat Residency channel. I'll respond to you, and I'm pretty active on Twitter. So you can also find me in random spaces on Twitter too. I've been going to those a lot more because they're actually far more fun than Clubhouse. But yeah, I will see you guys in the Sunday stream. But hopefully you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.